Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Warhammer Meta Chasers. Thank you for sitting tight and sticking fat whilst our ineptitude shows. And I say us, I mean Dustin's, because he's the only person who could have stuck this back together. If it was me, there would be no show. If this was on my head, there would be no show. So thank you very much for Dustin for making this happen. We had a few things fall apart, but we are here nonetheless, because this meta must be chased. My name is Adam Camilleri. I'm joined by Dustin Henshaw and the return of the cold, dead eyes of the serial killer, Angela Lansbury. I've seen this picture so much, I cannot see her as fearsome and terrifying, but she is here in lieu of the great Paul Murphy, who is on site at Tampa for the GW event this weekend. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I'm excited for more Warhammer Meta Chasing, obviously, and some tournaments coming up that I want to follow. The meta has been incredible lately, so it's actually really fun to chase right now.
The meta has in fact been a meta for possibly the first time.
Exactly, it has been a meta.
Has in fact been a meta. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. If you are live in chat, we do this live at approximately 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on your Thursdays.
If you're listening to this after the fact, it was 9 p.m. Eastern Standard
Time. 100%, 9 p.m. Yeah. Not a millisecond past 9 p.m. did we start this show. For those in chat, thank you so much for hanging tight with us for the time between 9 p.m. and the start of this show. But anyway, we have three amazing events for your viewing pleasure. We have Keeper's Melee, the Fantasia Fanatic over in Sweden, as I think we have covered every year that we've been doing this show, and the Pecking Order over in this great state of Washington. So we have three, give or take, around 100-ish player events, especially Keeper's Melee and Fantasia, both about 100 players, and Pecking Order at 66, because it was capped at 66, and that's the order you should execute upon your foes. But we also have one event shout-out. This is actually pretty exciting because I think this is the first time that I've personally noticed an event of this size coming from the amazing continent of South America. So this is the Warhammer GT with 65 players and 5 rounds from, I'm going to assume I ain't pronouncing this right, Medellin.
Looks right to me.
It looks right, but there is supposed to be some things on top of some of the E's and stuffs, and I have no idea what those mean, for I am basic.
That's fair. The chat, you guys are saying that I'm a little quieter. Am I better now? I have a volume button that I'm kind of turning, and then I'm
fair.
Median? Is that what it actually is?
Median?
Dorian's saying
that's correct.
Median. I might actually be saying what Dorian's saying, but I'm spelling wrong too. So I could be completely off, but Median seems right.
But either way, absolutely freaking awesome to see a large 5-rounder from from Colombia. Because to be all honest, I didn't know there was 65 people who played 40k in Colombia, and I'm very glad to be wrong.
Yeah, me too. I love seeing this down there. Have we had anything from South America yet, like on the show?
Quite a few decent-sized Mexican GTs, but yeah, nothing this far south for sure. So yeah, this could be the biggest event in South America for all we know. And if it isn't, that's even more exciting.
Exactly.
Well, yes, I don't know the city. I am from Australia. I don't know nothing about South America.
It's okay. We already said we could say that, right? That's
yeah. Unfortunately, it is a place that is pretty far removed from where Australia gets to go. But I'm looking forward to exploring some part of that region very soon. Hopefully, that is an incredibly awesome event for all in participation. And where in the world is War Games Live? He is taking a freaking week off.
Well
deserved.
Good
for him, mate. Hit us with that first event. Where is it? What's going down? How many players? And the faction breakdown.
It is Keeper's Melee from Nanamo?
Well,
Nanamo?
I'm glad that you got it wrong, because I was going to get it wrong, and I wasn't from Canada, so you have no excuse.
No, I have excuses. British Columbia's on the other side of the country for me, man. Like, come on.
Practically next to each other. No excuse.
Yeah, I could drive there in an easy 48 hours, no problem. That's actually no, sorry. It's actually I think it's a week. Anyway,
yeah.
Keeper's Melee is actually a pretty big one for Canada. It's been going on for a couple of years now. It is a very, very prominent event. I'm excited to be able to cover it here. 103 players, 5 rounds, and then let's go into the quick and dirty stats of this one. So the Imperial Super Faction, there are 2 Sisters of Battle, 9 Custodes, 2 Admech, 5 Astra Militarum, 1 Grey Knight, 2 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 10 Adeptus Astartes, 4 Dark Angels, 2 Space Wolves, 4 Blood Angels, 1 Death Watch, and 3 Black Templar. Chaos, there's 5 Chaos Space Marines, 4 T-Suns, 2 Death Guard, 5 World Eaters, 1 Demon, and 4 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 5 Necrons, 4 Orcs, 6 Tau, 1 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 11 Tyranids, 1 Gene Stealer Cult, and then Eldari, there is 2 Drukhari and 7 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Tyranids, topping it off at 11 with Adeptus Astartes next off in second with 10, and then Custodes in third with 9. Na-ne-mo. I said that, right? Didn't I?
I have no idea.
I did. I'm claiming credit for that.
That might as well be months ago, as far as I'm concerned.
It's adjacent to Vancouver, like everything is close to London. KR.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, everything on that side is Vancouver adjacent, 100%. Interesting breakdown. A nice little step down effect. We've got an 11 and a 10 and a 9. I don't think we have an 8, but we definitely have 7s and 6s in representation at this event. And very interesting with the sheer amount of Adeptus Astartes in participation. Now, I am kind of sure they're not using the new the new Space Marine codex, but I'm actually not 100% sure. That's just an assumption that I have, because I do know there are. No, actually, I don't think there are any events this weekend using it. Someone in chat, let us know if your event is using the new Marines book, but I do not believe this one is. Despite that, remember how we always see that little wave before the deck comes out? Everyone goes back, like the order goes out for the pre-release, and everyone starts playing the faction even in the weeks before the curse comes out, because definitely that's the case here.
Oh, for sure. And they should too, because there's a lot of point drops coming. So if you do well with your Space Marines now, you're just going to have more stuff in there in like a week or two. So why not?
Spot on. And for the vast majority of lists, you're still using fundamentally a lot of the same units.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in like the Vanguard and stuff, you're still like 10 Deathwing Knights and like Inceptors and Scouts. Like it's very, very, very similar in units. You're just going to have different detachments to make them act a little bit spicy. Maybe things like the Ironstorm and stuff. No one's slamming down 6-8 Dreads and a couple of Gladiators. But I still think a lot of the lists are going to be the same. To that end, unless you have anything further to say on the breakdown? No,
the breakdown looks good. Tyranids being very well presented there. That is McDougal's backyard, so I'm not too surprised about that.
And yet he's not there.
That's why there's so many more people bringing the Tyranids. Okay, good. Now I gotta get best in faction, right? Yeah, I have more chance to do
exactly
it.
Right.
Henrik only had to go on holiday in Sri Lanka to finally catch us so live. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy your vacation as well. All right, maybe it's vacation. Vacation and holiday, same thing, right?
Yes. Yeah, they are actually. The Mad Lad Curry, also known as one of the beautiful gents from Stats Check, gave me a couple of names to look at, because there was plenty of names in this side of Canada that I was not familiar with. And of course, I went looking through a bunch of the Space Marine players trying to find a few that would have been an interest. Cass is here playing his Ultramarines, but I went with Adam Green and his Adeptus Astartes instead. Now, the reason I did this is because essentially he's playing with next week's Space Marine list now. And you'll find that is a theme, because we'll be doing another Space Marine list as the last one. We're going to be bookended by them. And you'll see that both the ones I've chosen are essentially going to get better or stay the same depending on what they choose to go with the new detachments. But Adam Green, Adeptus Astartes, his Gladius Task Force starts off with Shrike, and Apothecary Biologist, of course, with Bolt of Discipline. 1 Primaris Tech Marine. 6 Aggressors, of course, ubiquitous with the Apothecary. 6 Devastator Centurions with Grav Cannons. 3 Inceptors, 2x5 Infiltrators, 2 Redemptors, 5 Sniper Scouts, 2 Whirlwinds, and a Calidus Assassin. And essentially, as far as I can tell, he drops 1 unit of 5 Infiltrators and the Sniper Scouts, and takes 3 units of regular Scouts, and this list just goes again. Just possibly even better now, depending on which detachment you want to take. Because you can take this into Vanguard, and the Devastator Centurions just become like a world ender versus some lists. The Whirlwinds are always good. Redemptors are always going to be good. Hell, he could drop a couple of things, take a 3rd Redemptor, take it as the Ironstorm. The Aggressors won't be as good in that one, but they'll still be okay. What do you make of this list, mate?
Shouldn't this be a Raven Guard technically if it has Shrike?
Yeah, but Raven Guard don't exist. Until they get their own book, they're just Space Marines, mate. Otherwise, it's too hard.
That's fair.
As soon as I do that, I will want to break down their Adeptus Astartes into their own little things.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. No, I actually really like it. The Centurions is the only one that I'm like raising an eyebrow at, because it's interesting. They do have a good damage output. They have a decent defensive profile. It's just you don't see them that often right now. So what do you think it's in there for?
Well, so 100% this is a unit that gets way better next week in the new codex. It actually gets a lot.
So I think he's kind of taking it for the test run now, just to get used to them.
I reckon. Yeah, I reckon he's getting in early. It's still not a bad unit to have. I will note it's not going to do much against the 11 Tyranids, 9 Custodies, things like that. They're not going to be that big hammer unit there. They're not going to be awful. They're not going to be bad with their grav cannons, but they're not. There isn't a huge density of knights at this event, which is probably what he wanted to see. There's only 6 total out of 103 players in both the Imperium and the Chaos Knights. So the density of big anti-mech that he wants to hunt is probably other Space Marines.
Yeah.
But when these guys when next week comes, there's a 1 CP strat for any infantry unit to get +1 ballistic skill and +1 rend when you shoot at something when you're more than 12 inches away from them. And Dev Centurions already reroll once to hit. So when you do that, you create a unit that doesn't need Oath of Moment anymore because they hit on 2s rerolling 1s, and the cannons go from AP1 to AP2, so pushing all the little knights straight to their invulnerable saves. So it's actually a pretty good unit. And then their chest guns is D3 like baby crack missile shots, strength 9, AP2 D3 damage, D3 blast. So even against like Necron Warriors, they get what 24 plus 63 shots.
That seems to be a theme right now. I was gonna say like it'd be great against Endless Swarm, but it's not if they have a CP.
Yes, you're exactly right.
But I actually do like it too. Dorian, he does have 5 scouts. There's 5 sniper scouts in the sheet.
So that's sniper scouts.
He does have 5 scouts, yeah.
Yeah. Apart from that, everything else here is good to go next week. The sniper scouts, of course, will just probably become regular scouts.
Yeah.
Whirlwinds always good as well. I think the whirlwinds are possibly going to be getting a little bit more necessary, especially with Desolators being absolutely cactus and the Thunderfire going away.
Yeah. I mean, the whirlwinds I think are always going to be pretty ubiquitous. At least 1, if not 2. 3 seems excessive unless you're really worried about something that's out of line of sight, or that something you really have to battle shock on your turn for some reason.
I'd save 3 for teams.
Teams, yeah, okay. Yep.
But all right, moving on. Next one we have Brendan McKenzie playing his Adeptus Sororitas. He's got Hallowed Martyrs attachment, of course. He's got the Triumph of St. Catherine, a Palatine with the Blade of St. Eleanor, a Dialogus, 3 units of Battle Sisters, 10 Novitiates, 10-10-3 Arco-Flagellants, 3 units of 2 Crusaders, 3 units of 5 Seraphim, 3 Immolators, 4 Rhinos, a Calidus, and an Eversource. So this is a transport-heavy build. It's playing almost like an Orc list.
I was actually going to say that it does feel a lot like an Orc list with the Novitiates, the Flagellants, and all the Rhinos in there. Like there's the 4 Rhinos. I haven't seen that many Rhinos in like a Space Marine or Imperium or Chaos list in
ages.
I can't think of a time I did.
Yeah.
Like I saw 3 at most in like World Eaters.
Well, I suppose Death Guard's the only real
sure.
Only like transport archetypes that I've seen lately, and Orcs probably literally because they don't have anything better to be doing at the moment. Unfortunately, like that's kind of the best thing they got going. Death Guard have a few different options, but this is really interesting. So shooting wise, it's non-existent. The Immolators is the best shooting in the list, but the Battle Sisters, play funny buggers in the middle of the table, a little bit of a pinch hitting here and there, taking away objectives. Arco-Flagellants, I'm assuming they have to go in the Rhinos because they're 10s, but I have no idea what they do. You had any experience with them?
They are probably the most important unit in Sisters right now. They are the trying to think of the unit to compare them to. I think they're the closest thing to like the Chosen that the Sisters have. They're really but they're not nearly as durable. Although I think they have a 4-up Feel No Pain.
Let me just check for you because I've just gone straight to them.
Yeah, pull them up so we have the actual stats. We can talk about them. But I'm pretty sure they're the ones that actually they hit pretty hard. They don't take hits well, but they do have the 4-up Feel No Pain, I believe.
Yeah, so they are toughness 3.
Yeah,
with a 7-up save.
Yeah,
they do have a 4-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah,
you were correct. They have 4 attacks, hitting on 4s at strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. And then each time this unit is selected to fight, you can choose to invoke its extremist trigger word. If you do, then until the end of the phase, they have attack 6 and hazardous. So they get 6 attacks. So they'll have 60 attacks at strength 5.
Remember when you were saying this is more like an Orc list? There you go.
Yeah, so their sustained hits 1 and twin linked. So each one of them gets another hit when they essentially gets another pseudo hit when they go to 6 attacks each. Because they're all going to roll a 6 essentially. So they all, get it's not just 10 hits essentially.
Yeah.
So that is a cool little build there. I'm interested to see how well it does because I could see it doing fixed objectives extremely well, especially with the Calidus and the Eversaw kind of backing things up, and with the Seraphim, able to ride from reserve and get a bunch of secondary points.
Right. I'm pretty sure they have a fight and death strat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so too.
So they're just there. Like they're actually going to be good against the other kind of horde units, or even just making them take enough saves, right?
Yeah.
I'm down with them. I like them.
I am down with them.
I do miss. Wow. You know who I'm going to say. Come on.
Celestine?
No, the other one.
There's another one?
I mean, kind of. Wow, why can't I remember her name?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Nundum character.
Oh.
See?
Yeah.
Vol, thank you. Morven Vol. My God.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't believe I couldn't remember her. Morven Vol. Thank you, downvoting people. Don't downvote us for me not remembering. But yes, I missed that with the with her retinue right now because they actually put out a lot of damage. They would add like a good shooting aspect to this list too, but they are expensive. And this is more of an MSU expensive style, I think. So I understand why it's not in here. I do miss it.
It's trying to stay away from what that unit is, as in like a big ball of points. But anyway, that is it. We're gonna pick our winners, and Paul, naturally not being here, is gonna get all of the Astartes,
which is pretty good. That's pretty good.
There's a lot of Astartes. There's more Astartes here than any other super faction. They got 24. The next highest is 21. So not a bad percentile pick. Mm-hmm. What are you going for, dude? Nids is 11.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna go Nids anyway, even though Alex isn't there. But I'll stick with my Nids.
I don't feel like there's any good choices left for me. I'm gonna go Custodes, whatever. We'll just pick the podium.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. All right, moving down. We got the Fantasia Fanatic from Umeå, Sweden, which just happens to be in Scandinavia. If you didn't know, 97 players, 5 rounds, mate. What are we going to see there?
We are going to be seeing 3 Sisters of Battle, 4 Custodes, 3 Admech, 6 Astra Militarum, 2 Grey Knights, and 3 Imperial Knights. Space Marines are 6 Adeptus Astartes, 5 Dark Angels, 4 Space Wolves, 1 Blood Angel, 1 Death Watch, and 1 Black Templar. Chaos, there's 3 Chaos Space Marines, 3 T-Suns, 4 Death Guard, 2 World Eaters, 1 Demon, and 5 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 11 Necrons, 3 Orcs, 6 Tau, 2 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 5 Tyranids and 2 Gene Stealer Cults. And then Eldari, there is just 11 Eldari, meaning the faction podium is Necrons and Eldari, tied in first with 11. Astra Militarum, Astartes, and Tau, 5 behind that, in second with 6. And then Nids, Chaos Knights, and Dark Angels at third with 5. So that is actually, there's a bit of a gap between the top 2, but the top 2 are Necrons and Eldari, so not completely one-sided. But it's actually a pretty good spread other than that. Like the meta is actually a meta like that right now. Like we said at the beginning of this, this is nice. I like this. Still seeing a lot of Eldari, which isn't very surprising. Necron's a bit on the rise. Astra Militarum being up on the podium is actually, that's new.
That is fairly new, yeah. It doesn't surprise me in the WTC Heartland countries where I think Guard gets a bit more play on the denser terrain. Yeah. I think stuff like GW terrain, and stuff like some of the LGT terrain stuff, you really struggle to hide your indirect battery, which unfortunately is still where they're forced to play.
Yes.
Especially now that the battery has gotten, the footprint has gotten bigger because there's the Earthshakers and the Medusas are less incentivized than having the 6-8 Chimera chassis that you're trying to hide. Mm-hmm. So the footprint of that unit that is a lot bigger. So I think it gets more play on the WTC tables than it does elsewhere in the world, or it looks better there. But either way, 8 factions on our podium is exceptional. Well done.
On the podium of 3, that's really good. And they're not low numbers either. Like it's 5s and 6s here for all these multiples. Like that's really good representation. I like this a lot.
I like this a lot. Yeah, Eldari still makes so much sense.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm surprised now when I don't see Eldari on the podium, which we didn't in the previous. Eldari, I think, would have come in 5th. No, they would have come in 4th at the previous event. They were, one outside the top. But yeah, 100%. I'm surprised when I don't see Eldari on the podium still. I'm not always expecting them to be first, but I do expect them to make the podium more often than not.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The Eldari should be on the podium because they are still one of the best codexes, if not the best one right now. They're just not as point and click anymore. They have all the tools to win their games. You just need to know how to use them properly now because they are more of more of a Swiss Army knife now, which they should be.
It's really easy to see it's really clear to see some of the ebb and flows of different super factions in the world. The Chaos super faction is a great little snapshot of this in Sweden. The numbers in there are kind of way down to compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Death Guard at 4 and Chaos Knights at 5, and then Chaos Space Marines just winning, the second biggest event in the world, kind of just in the middle there somewhere. Same with Thousand Suns.
That's
Demons,
a little surprising.
I'm real worried about Demons.
Really?
Mostly because I think they suck. I just think
That's a good reason to worry about them.
I don't think. No, they didn't. They didn't deserve the nerfs they got.
No, they didn't.
The only stuff that they had going for them was that their big Griblies were points efficient, and now you can't say that anymore. So I'm kind of concerned, and the faction numbers are backing me up on that.
Yeah, I mean the GSC's been dropping a lot too. Like what the hell? They didn't deserve that nerf at all.
No, nerf them harder. Nerf them again.
Oh, they got a buff today.
Again. No, nerf again.
They got a buff.
Yeah, they did get a buff.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but they got a buff.
Yeah, the WTC FAQ came out and gave them a little bit of a tickle. And in fact, that they get their bombs back when they regen units now, yeah?
Yeah, and they don't get used when they're in transports.
That one I don't agree with.
But nobody uses a list like that, though.
No, who would possibly?
Never heard of that do that.
Never heard of such a.
Sorry, there was something on my face. Anyway.
All right, so top players in attendance, and I did this one for Paul because he is such a fanboy of Daniel Hesselberg that I pulled up him, and I'm picking. He's going to be getting Daniel Hesselberg for this event over at Saudis.
That's fair.
Because he is such a fan.
He is a fanboy.
He is playing Chaos Knights for this one though. He is not playing some of his. Actually, no, I think did he play Chaos Knights for WTC? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Chaos Knights. 3 Stalkers, one of which has Aura of Terror. 5 Brigands, 2 Executioners, and 3 Carnivores. The interesting picks here is this is way more Stalkers and Executioners than we're usually used to seeing. I'm used to seeing 1, maybe 2 Stalkers and 0 Executioners. And here I'm seeing 3 Stalkers and 2 Executioners. And not 6 Brigands. usually the list starts at 6 Brigands and you go from there.
Yeah, so why the Executioners, especially on the WTC terrain?
Yeah, see, I legitimately don't know. So the Executioners, for those who do not know, they are the Helverin equivalent. They're the double autocannon. Is he just wanting the damage 3? Do you think there's going to be enough need for the damage 3?
Damage 3 is a big deal, but it's a matter of what he thinks he's going to be facing. Like he should know his meta better than anybody there, right? So he should.
Yeah,
he knows. What he's doing with it.
How many wounds on a Wraith Guard? But Wraith Guard are minus damage, aren't they?
No, are they?
Yeah, or at least they can. I believe they can.
No, they have. Yeah. They have -1 to wound with that fortune thing. But
that's right. Sorry, that's what I'm thinking. It's -1 to wound.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe they're hunting Wraith Guard. They're hunting Necron, 3 wound Necron guys destroyers.
Do Executioners have the anti-fly Helverins get? I'm pretty sure they are.
Ooh.
Yeah, they do.
I will tell you in one moment. I think they do as well.
Because they are the actual equivalent, so they should.
I doubt it. The word doesn't work like that.
No, okay.
If you target makes an attack that targets a unit below half strength +1 to hit, bam, that would have been sick.
I mean, carnivores get it to half strength.
No wonder they suck. No wonder they take them.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what the thought process behind that is. Yeah,
me too. But I'm assuming it's there for Wraith Guard.
They're by no means bad, and they'd be good against the Wraith Guard because of the damage, and they also outrange them, which is a big deal when you're fighting Wraith Guard with Chaos Knights or Knights in general, or anything big in general.
I was going to say the biggest reason I would want to take him is the range, because the Brigands only much shorter range band than the Executioners. The Executioners get to sit right at the back of the table. The 3 Stalkers is a head scratcher as well. The Stalkers aren't bad, but they aren't as good at shooting as Brigands or as good at combat as Carnivores. And when in this list you could have more of either. That one is another question point.
Boop, boop. That was me making a question mark with a finger for anybody that's not watching this video.
Yeah, excellent.
That was I didn't have like a sparkler or like a Riddler thing to do it with this time. Maybe I should get one.
Fantastic. Anyway, moving on to the next gentleman in attendance. Of course, I looked at all the Necron lists and I picked this one out for an obvious reason.
Oh yes, I see it.
This is Rafael Perez. And he's playing Necrons, and he's got his Awakened Dynasty, and he's got the Silentest of Kings. And that is why I put this up here. He's got 2 Overlords, with one with a Veil of Darkness, one with Hypodermal Ablator, 2 Technomancers, a Transcendent Catan with the Subtermal Weave, 2x20 Warriors, 3 Heavy Destroyers, and 2x3 Ophidians. So you can see this list is lacking a lot of bits and pieces.
Stuff?
Because... Oh, sorry, it's got 2x2 Crypto Thralls as well. Apologies.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that too.
You see the
I assume
just assume that.
You just assume. Yeah.
The Silent King making it back into a list because he's still pricey.
Well, we actually highlighted a Silent King list last week too, so we have started we have started to see him pop up here and there. Now, the reason why I don't know. He is more of a damage dealer, I guess. Now his buffs are good, but he doesn't really have anything in this list. Like the Warriors aren't there to do damage. Obviously, they're there to not die and score you primary and potentially secondaries if need be. Silent King, I think, does have a unbattle shock them at the end of your command phase ability.
Yes,
the end of your command phase is a little off because you want at the beginning, so you score your primary. But I guess make sure you can use strats on there, whatever you need to do, which you want to be able to do with the thing that they do when they come back reanimating. Jeez, my brain's not working tonight. I'm not remembering more of it. I'm not remembering reanimating. This is bad. Anyway, it's I don't know. Like, he's so expensive, and there's so many things that Necrons can do now to do more than the Silent King can do, I feel. But
420 points.
That's a lot of points.
And I wish he had like one more pip of toughness. Toughness 10 is actually
toughness 10 is rough. If he was T12, I would be a lot more down with him. T11 and 10 for something of 420 points. That's hard to. He does have a 4-up invuln, which obviously makes a big difference. But I don't know, man.
Well,
I don't know.
Someone put it. So once again, talking about Wraithguard or Deathwing Knights, things with minus to wound, minus damage, minus stuff like that. He has a very relevant aura for ignoring that, which is a lot of reason people like Mortarion.
That's true.
In addition, he has the real wants to wound aura as well, which is actually something that's pretty hard to come by these days, which is usually restricted just for things like the Silent King, things like Primarchs, etc. I think he's good. Is he 420 points good? I don't believe so. I think he could be 380, 390 and start looking a lot more palatable.
Yeah, exactly. Shazzy Bear, I love the show. Thanks a lot, buddy. We appreciate it. What about him stopping Death Guard, OC reduction, and all? Yeah, like I feel like that's the whole reason he's there, especially because I'm pretty sure it doesn't need to see it. So like on WTC tables where it's very heavy, he can be shutting that kind of stuff down from the other side of walls too. So it actually makes a big difference for that kind of stuff. That's the other thing too, because Fly got such a big nerf, he is clunky to move around the board.
He only moves 7, man.
Yeah,
he only moves 7. It's rough. I will say that you guys are 100% correct. One of the ways that a lot of lists are getting around dealing with Necron Warriors is to battle shock them.
Yep.
And as you can see, Chaos Knights, plenty of them here, plenty of other armies that will look at a thing and try and battle shock it into the ground. And for all armies that can't kill them effectively, that's what you want to do. And then Silent King just turns off that playbook. So that is in itself could be a reason that he makes it to the dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
But once again, 420 points is
it's a lot. Like he needs to shut something down, shut 2 things down a turn to really get his points back.
You can just look at this list and just look at the 3, possibly even 4 units that are missing because the Silent King is here. And that's when you got to really weigh it up. But anyway, that is the Fantasia Fanatic. Paul is going to get picked Daniel Hesselberg. I'm not even writing in Chaos Knights. I'm writing in Daniel Hesselberg.
That makes sense. That's what you should be doing.
Because he loves him so. What are you going to pick, brother?
I don't know. I'm looking at. You go ahead.
I'm going to back the Crons. I'm going to back the Crons in for a podium.
Okay. I'm down with that. I'm going to go something a little more off the wall, I think. Because
Eldari?
No, that's not. That is not off the wall.
I thought you were going to do it funny.
I'm not doing it funny. I am actually going to go off the wall a little bit because I think it'll be fun. I am going to say. Okay, you know what? Maybe not off the wall, but I'm going to go Chaos Space Marines.
That's fine.
It's off the wall because there's not many of them.
There's not many of them. Exactly right. That's why. All right, we have one more beautiful event to talk about, but before we do, we should tell you about the ways in which you can support us. So we have a lovely patron with a couple of different tiers. You can definitely jump over and support us there for a couple of bucks if you just like what we do and want us to continue doing what we're doing. I've said this for a couple of weeks, but I do 3 shows a week, every week, sometimes more podcasts, and this show is as much work as the other 3 shows I do put together. So if you want to support us in this endeavor and enable us to continue doing what we're doing, jump over to Patreon, search for Warhammer Meta Chasers or the Warhammer Meta Chasers, and give us a support at whichever level you see fit, and we'll hope to see you there. All right, Dusty, take us home. What's the last one?
The last one we have for today is Pecking Order in Pecking Order Turkey Emu Wars from Olympia, Washington. What?
Well, it's the Turkey. The name of the event is the Turkey Wars. I guess the Pecking Order is just a string of events. But I like to feel like they're waving the flag of the emu battles. They have taken up the mantle. Dropped in Australia and fighting their own native bird.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get it now.
You remember Clendathu?
Yeah.
We said we had to understand the bug first, and so they went elsewhere. They went and attacked other planets. This is what we're doing.
That's Starship Troopers for all you kids out there.
Yeah. For all you young whippersnappers.
All you young whippersnappers.
People say remember the Alamo. Remember Clendathu.
We remember Clendathu. We must first understand the bug.
Yes, it's correct.
It's an ugly planet. Anyway, okay. 66 players, 5-round event. Let's see what the quick dirty stats here are. So the Imperial Superfaction, there is 1 Sisters of Battle, 3 Custodes, 1 Admech, 5 Astra Militarum, and 2 Grey Knights. Space Marines, there's 1 Adeptus Astartes, 5 Dark Angels, 2 Space Wolves, and 2 Black Templar. Chaos, there's 4 Chaos Space Marines, 2 T-Suns, 5 Death Guard, 4 War Leaders, 7 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 4 Necrons, 2 Orcs, 4 Tau, and 3 Votan. Hivemind, there's 5 Tyranids. GST, nowhere to be found. But Eldari, there's only 2 Drukhari and 1 Eldari. The Drukhari outnumber the Eldari.
It happened, everybody.
What?
This is it.
So the faction podium is Chaos Knights topping off with 7, Astra Militarum, Death Guard, and Nids tied in second with 5, Krons, World Leaders, and CSM in third with 4. I am dubbing this edition's best meta spread yet.
This is good.
This is absolutely incredible.
If there was another on the podium, or it is very nice, very nice. And the nicest part is that there's twice as many Drukhari as Eldari. I mean, it's only 2 to 1, but I'll
twice as many. Doesn't matter.
Twice as many.
Twice as many.
Correct is the best kind of correct. What the hell is with all the Chaos Knights?
I don't know. I mean, they got into the top 8. No, they got into the shadow round at London GT, which is a big feat because that's a lot of people, and Chaos Knights got there. And then Paul and I actually talked about this last week too. Like maybe people seeing that, like, okay, Chaos Knights obviously have what it takes to get there. You just need to find out that little what little tweak you need to do. Maybe you need to take 2 executioners and 1 less brigand, or whatever it ends up being. They're so close to just getting over that last hump. They just need to figure out what that last piece is. So everybody's trying it. Well, at least 7 people.
7 out of 66.
7 out of 66. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's a lot. Quite a few Tyranids here as well. In addition, plenty of Death Guard. And plenty of Astra Militarum. Once again, Dark Angels, good representation. A little light on the Space Marines at this one, but I suppose they were all up a couple of hours straight up in the greater Vancouver area, or I assume and Vancouver adjacent, wherever the hell Nanaimo is. Nanaimo? Anyway. Nanaimo. This is a great event. And the reason I wanted to do these 2 events, I did Pecking Order and I did Kipper's Melee, because they're essentially 2 sides of the border, but with very different metas. The meta for Kippers is very well defined. Tyranids stepping down to Adeptus Astartes, stepping down to Custodes. And this one is a hodgepodge of insanity I would not have expected. Astra Militarum, Death Guard, and Nids in the second place. Chaos Knights number 1, Krons, World Leaders, and CSM. And I kind of wanted to highlight the fact that the game is on. 10th edition is afoot. There is no defined, solved anything. Go out there, play whatever the hell you want. It's likely whatever faction you play can hang.
Yeah, it's true. And I feel like we've talked about this on the show quite a few times, where the meta has like defined borders, and it's not necessarily between Canada and US sometimes, or even sometimes within like a state or a province, that you're going to cross over to another city and the meta is completely different. Like you'll go to a tournament 2 cities over and you'll play lists and armies that you've never seen before, which in this in 10th right now is something we've been waiting for, because before it was very easy to just build, okay, I know what's good, I'm going to build it.
Yeah.
But we've gotten back to that spot where you can go across the pond or across the street and fight something completely different, and that's just it's a great place to be in the meta. I just love it.
Brilliant. All right, top players in attendance. Steve Trimble is first up. Lucas Troll is also at this event playing Chaos Space Marines as well, but they got a little bit different archetypes, and I liked Steve's a little bit more, so I went with it. Plus, it demonstrates what I think is, the strong way to go. We saw this list close to this list. I'm not quite sure if it's much different. Do extremely well at the LGT. So he has his Slaves of Darkest attachment with triple Chaos Lord, 10 cultists, 3 chosen, 3x5 that is, 2 rhinos, 2 forge fiends, 2x2 obliterators, 2x5 warp talons, single unit of 3 nurglings, blue scribes, and Celeste. This list is freaking great.
Yeah, so the only difference with this one is it's got 5 less chosen because there was a 10-man in the other one, and I think it didn't have any nurglings and only 1 warp talon squad. I think those are the only differences.
Yeah. So that was the other 5 chosen made it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is, I think, the 2 Forge Fiends, 2x2 Blitz, at least 2 Chaos Lords with 2 units of chosen of whatever size you want with 2 Rhinos, and you just go from there. The rest of the list is pretty up to you, especially the Demons contingent. I think Celeste is looking like absolutely the way to go. She is 100%. So freaking great for the deep strike ability, the size of the base, how hard she is to remove for the points. I back that choice a lot. And this is extremely strong, mate. What are your thoughts?
No,
what does this struggle into? What's going to even beat this?
Well, that's the thing. This is another list that, yes, it is one of, if not the strongest archetype we have in the meta right now. But it's, again, not point and click. Like, you have to play this correctly. You can mess this up. You can mess this list up hard. Steve is a very good player. He will not mess it up. So be careful when you're playing him. But it is such a strong list. And it's a little bit more forgiving than some of the other ones. Like Eldar, I feel like has a little less forgiveness because their units are so squishy and they don't have as many things that they actually Eldar. I don't feel like have as much damage output as this Chaos list does. I feel like this Chaos list can actually kill a lot more.
Yeah,
right.
Without the Wraith Knight, I think this has. Well, you let the Wraith Guard shoot 5 turns of the game, sure. Most people will do their best to not let that happen. This list absolutely slams.
Yes.
Absolutely slams. Really strong. And look how much more lists you get when you drop Abby. I mean, I'm just going to point that out here. He hasn't got a Abaddon here. I believe Lucas Troller's list does have Abaddon in it. But yeah, and Abaddon is still a fantastic choice. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, do like this list quite a lot. And then the last list that we will be discussing is my man Mitch Pelham from Best in Faction, one of the OGs of Best in Faction. He's coming back into the tournament scene pretty strong. He's playing Space Wolves here, as Adeptus Studies. He's got a Gladius Task Force, and you will note that this list gets about 20 to 30 to 40% better come Monday when the new codex is in effect, because this is pretty future-proof. There's a couple of things that are going to move around, and he's spent a hell of a lot of points on characters. But let's get to it. Apothecary Biologist with Bolt of Discipline, Bjorn, Canis Wolfborn, Logan on Santa's Sleigh, as in on Storm Rider, 3 Wolfguard Battle Leaders on Doggos, 2 Wolf Lords on Doggos. All 5 of those characters have Storm Shield Thunderhammer, a Cyber Wolf that goes with 5 Fenrisian rules, 6 Aggressors, which are walking, 3 units of Thundercav, a unit of 3 and 2 units of 5, a Storm Wolf freaking Flyer, and a Calidus Assassin. Have you got your finger on the pulse of the Stormlands Thunderwolf Cav list?
It's funny that you mention it because I have actually been practicing against it lately.
What do you think? What's your finger on it? How good is it?
It has legs. It absolutely has legs. It's scary aggressive, and Thunderwolf Cav they don't hit as hard as they used to because the Thunder Hammers aren't what they used to be, but they are.
Mitchy, Mitchie has learned some things, I think, from watching some Chaos Space Marine tech, and he's looked at the Chosen and looked at the Chaos Lord and been like, the Chaos Lord isn't here to buff the Chosen. The Chosen are here to buff the Chaos Lord.
Yeah.
And the Thunder Wolves are there just to buff the 5 freaking characters he straps onto them.
Yep.
And those guys do all the killing.
Yep.
The Thunder Wolf Cav are just to try and get them there. If they get to hit 2, awesome. But those wolf characters are freaking, like, they slap. They absolutely slap. Yeah, is the Stormwolf the transport
It
one?
is, yes.
I have no idea. So is it going to be able to fit the aggressors?
I'm pretty sure it can because it's Gravis. I'm pretty sure it can.
I'll control FLA
double check that because it actually might be able to. Because I think if the Stormwolf is the transfer one, it has a little less firepower than the one that I'm thinking of, but it's still got a lot of. I'm pretty sure it still has that D6 plus like 6 strength.
Twin Hellfrost.
Yeah, strength 8,
so
negative 2 damage flamer.
Transports 16 infantry, and Gravis and Terminators take up 2 each. Yeah. So yeah, it easily fits.
100%. Yep.
Oh, wow.
The aggressors are going there.
Beautiful. So he's just taking that instead of a Redeemer, which is kind of sick. If unit disembarks from his transport before it moves, then until the turn, it's eligible to charge in a turn in which it advanced. So you can shoot the aggressors out of it.
Yep.
Which is nice. And then, yeah, it does have its Twin Hellfrost cannon, which has a flamer version.
Yeah, it's strength 8, negative 2 damage, twin linked, I think.
So its good shot is 1 shot at 935, so flat 5 damage with twin linked, and then has a torrent twin linked strength 6 neg 1 2 damage flamer. Yeah, so that is actually quite a good flamer as well. And then of course it's got the sky hammers and the multi-mounted las cannons, whatever. Yeah, sick. He might be onto a little bit of tech there. What I like about this is that he is literally practicing, I believe, this exact list into the Stormlance, because that Stormwolf gets -1 to hit, -1 to wound for 1 CP.
Yep.
And
like everything does, really.
Effective.
Anything that is flying vehicle or mounted, I believe.
Or mounted, yeah. So anything in this army, I think he's onto it. I think this is it's a very good list, but it's a question if it is good enough now, because the new meta 8.
Well, yeah, but even in the new one, like this list is. I think it's going to do extremely well into the current meta, like once it comes out, because even right now it'll still be fine, because there are a lot of lists out there that cannot handle this kind of aggression.
Well, so the thing is, I think he's done it perfectly right here. With I think this combo might be kind of a little better than the one that's going to come, because this still has the go turn where you get to advance and charge.
True.
In the Gladius, but it gets to have the aggressors for screen clear. So, because the biggest issue with the Thunderwolf Cav is they're on freaking 60s. Mm-hmm. And that, like, 3 Nurglings in the middle of the table can block you off from any ingress into your opponents and just buy whole extra turns for your opponent. The aggressors, especially the Stormwolf as well, now that we know how many shots and how well it clears infantry, can just be doing strafing runs, picking up all the nonsense to just enable the Thunderwolf Cav to go straight for the jugular.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it. I love it. I think it's going to do extremely well.
I think he'll do extremely well as well. All right, so let's pick some winners here. Paul's going to default back to Astartes. What do you want, mate?
Is that including the Space Wolves?
Yeah, he does. He gets all of Astartes.
Okay, well, I'll take...
You can pick Astartes too, man.
No, I'll take CSM.
I was going to take CSM.
You still can.
I'm going to take Chaos Knights.
I mean,
just because I'm going with the numbers.
Going with numbers?
But I was going to take CSM. It's fine. All right. We got a little palate cleanser segment coming up for your pleasure now. It's called the Fuego Rapido, and it is a bunch of nonsense to end out the show. Hopefully in a joyous manner, because naturally, of course, the last 45 minutes of the show have not been entertaining at all. Very dull, dreary, essentially the color beige in just wearing skin right now. But we're here to bring
It's not exciting. It's more like you're like watching wood be wood, and you don't want to do that. You want
Yes. Wood be wood?
Yeah, you're watching wood be wood, instead of watching grass grow or something. So
okay, is that actually a saying, or
if you watched I Am Ninja, that's where it was first.
Okay,
I think.
Okay, do we have a topic for this week's Fuego?
I think it's just random stuff that's come from patrons or the like.
All right, let's roll.
Let's slide on in here. All right, so here we go. First one. If you could travel back in time to any point in history, what would it be?
Ooh, that is... See, I want to see dinosaurs, but I don't want to get eaten by
Right?
dinosaurs.
So I mean, like, are you allowed? Are you safe when you go back there? Are you coming back?
Yeah. If I could go back and like I'm invincible, because I also don't want to kill any dinosaurs.
Yeah. You don't want to change anything. Okay, we're saying that you can't change anything when you go to the past.
Okay, so I would like to go, party with some dinosaurs. Just look at dinosaurs and just be like, shit, that is cool. They're moving in herds. They do move in herds. I would just that's all it would be. I'll just be doing Jurassic Park quotes.
Wow. See how accurate it actually is. Dinosaurs is actually a pretty good one too, because I was a huge dinosaur fan as a kid. And I mean, I still find them fascinating, something that you'd never be able to see before. If I had to pick something that's not dinosaurs, time period that I would find, like, I've always been a huge medieval buff, like European medieval times. I know it was a pretty crappy time, though.
It was. It sucked.
It sucked. I don't know. Dinosaurs is good. Like, I can't think of a better one than dinosaurs.
You can pick dinosaurs. I always wanted to go back to and just have like a year in Alexandria before the library got burned down, because I just want to know what they knew. I'm so fascinated to know what was in that library, or is it just a myth that it was, it was a repository of all knowledge?
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, even if there's like a big thing in the past that I would want to see, but there's all being in the past. Again, that far back, it was a crappy time, so it's hard to say I want to go back there and see everybody be miserable. You know what I mean? Because there's some cool thing. We romanticize a lot of it nowadays, right? I don't believe it's going to be that nice to go back to. I gotta go with dinosaurs because I want to see dinosaurs in real life. That'd be cool.
Dinosaurs
that
rock.
Would be cool. Dinosaurs rock.
All
right. Next one. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
Oh man, there's Batman. I don't know.
Wow. I mean, you could still be Batman and Adam Camilleri. Those are two different identities.
It's true. But then no, I would name myself Batman and then masquerade at night as Adam Camilleri.
Max Power.
Max Power is up there.
Both Power.
for the meme, for the Simpsons meme, and for just the hilarity.
All right, think of it this way: if you weren't named Adam, what would your first name be? Like a name that you really like.
My mum was going to call me Noah, and actually, it's always been in the back of my head. What would my life have been like if I was called Noah? I don't know. Maybe that.
My parents were going to call me Tiffany if I was a girl.
Is that something you'd like to explore?
No, I'm just saying. That's the only other name that I know they thought of.
Be nothing wrong with it, brother.
No, of course not. But I always liked that name. But I wouldn't change my name to that.
Would it be Tim then?
I think it would be like maybe Tim. Is that the male equivalent of Tiffany?
I don't think so.
Tim?
There's no TIF male name that I know of. Anglo-Saxon male name, I guess. European male name. Anyway,
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what the equivalent would be. But okay, I've always liked the name Lucian.
Lucian, yeah.
I like that name. I was actually going to name my son that, but I felt
it
was a little too out there to do that.
If I got to change it back at will, I would spend like a month or two as like Mustang Adonis Camilleri or something.
Mustang Adonis.
Something wildly dumb like that. That'd be funny.
You'd have to.
Anyway.
You can be creative with it. All right, next one. What reality show would you appear on and win? There's
a lot of bad reality TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, so it'd be easy for you to win a lot of them then.
I would love to go and win Survivor. That would be sick.
Survivor?
I like Survivor.
Actually, you're in Australia. I feel like you could crush that, right?
I feel like I've got a little bit of a leg up.
You got a little bit of a leg up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I have been a big fan of Survivor at points in my life where I've just gone through like a 3-month haze of just binge watching seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It comes in weird spurts. But yeah, I go with Survivor.
Survivor? Okay. Yeah, I can see that. That would actually make sense. That makes it easy for you. There's two. There's two that I'd appear on and win. One of them would be Big Brother. I think I'd crush Big Brother.
Yeah, I think you do good at Big Brother.
I think I'd do well at Big Brother. I've never actually watched it. I just know the
How do you know
concept
you would
of
do?
it.
Yeah, I know. It's not a hard concept.
No, it's not a hard concept. It's not a hard concept. And there's that other one that's on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix exclusive. It's fairly new that my wife's been watching. But the other one was obviously Squid Games, because that's a reality show.
Oh, dude, yeah, hell yes. Oh, dude, yeah.
That would obviously. And if I didn't, you'd never know. I
would like to get myself kicked off in dramatic fashion from Hell's Kitchen.
Oh,
something dumb.
Oh, that would be fun.
Legendary.
That would be amazing.
Like this far away from my face, just screaming at me. Eternal meme exit.
The way your hair is right now, you look like you would be on there. You look like you'd be on that show.
It would be better than winning it.
It would be better than winning it. Yeah, getting kicked off by
what
are you? An idiot sandwich.
Yeah.
Donkey. You're a donkey.
Fuego.
All right. Next up, who would play you in the movie of your life?
Well, with the hair like it is now, obviously Brad Pitt. I mean, obviously, right?
Wait. Which one does he have that hair in?
I don't know.
Troy? We both said the truth.
Both said Troy.
I guess it
was
Troy.
That is definitely what you get when you look at me.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely when I first saw you in person, look, it's Brad Pitt. Oh no, it's actually Camilleri.
Yeah, it's it. It's splitting image. What about yourself?
If I'm being honest, no. If I'm being ambitious, it would be Jason Statham. Because
yeah. Vin Diesel as well.
Vin Diesel, yeah. I've actually been compared to Vin Diesel too. Yeah.
I can see it already.
Absolutely, yeah.
Say family for me a couple of times.
Yeah, family.
Family.
It's all about family.
Charlie Sheen, obviously.
Charlie Sheen. That would be good for you.
If you did Adam the younger years,
yeah.
Off the rails Charlie Sheen would be
off the rails Charlie Sheen. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being realistic, I'd probably be something more like Colin Mockery or something. From Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yep. Great show.
That's a great show.
Who would play Paul? That's what we should decide.
Yeah,
now.
Who would play Paul?
Like the tallest Tom Cruise you've ever seen.
Tom Cruise would actually be a good choice.
That you'd have to get him on actual stilts.
He's never needs to play the actual height he's supposed to be in the movie.
Freaking tiny.
Yeah, but I feel like he. Cruz would have to work out a little bit to get to Paul's physique, but he'd be able to.
Never has a man eaten more burgers and not shown it. It's infuriating.
It is infuriating. It actually is. Yeah, I think Tom Cruise would work for that. I'm down with that one. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right.
What's
up next?
Last but not least, what celebrity do you wish you could play 40K with? Other than Henry Cavill, obviously.
Obviously, other than Henry Cavill. 20ing Elon Musk would be pretty sick.
Whoa! You think you just crush Elon Musk? You think if he actually had like 2 weeks to plan his game or his list, he wouldn't crush you? No, I don't think so.
No.
He wouldn't build a car to play the game for him.
He would get like a team, a network of he would just walk into the Art of War house.
He wouldn't even do anything. Well, yeah, the whole thing with him and Zuckerberg doing the UFC fights. They just get a whole team together and do it for them.
So Musk was like, "Yeah, sure, you little pipsqueak, I'll crush you." And then Musk was like, "Oh, holy shit, this guy actually does martial arts," and I just held a katana once to look cool in a trench coat. At least my mum said I was cool.
Mom said I was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really funny. But anyway, because Zuckerberg looks like he's an actual animal. He's like a decent belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So yeah, it would be 20 Elon Musk, specifically 20.
Specifically to beat him up. Okay.
He'd probably whip out his flamethrower or shoot me with some kind of space laser directly after, but. Absolutely.
Maybe a mind control device, something like that.
Yes.
Trump loved to crush him, but he cheats.
All right, what's your pick?
I want to be able to enjoy my game of whoever I play. So I'd want to pick a celebrity I like. But I'm trying to think of who would be. You know what? I'd actually like to play someone like Ryan Reynolds. That would be a fun game.
That would be a fun.
That would be a fun game.
It really would.
I feel like he would just have fun with it, even if he was good or if he wasn't, he would enjoy it. It would be a fun game. That's what I wanted. I'd want to play like Ryan Reynolds. I like him.
That's a good answer. All right. On that note, we are all fuegoed out. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode 24, I think, of your Warhammer Meta Chasers. Please jump over to the link below if you're looking at us live on screen. That is patreon.com/Warhammer Meta Chasers. And please support us if you are willing. And Dustin, another great week for 40k. We got GW Tampa happening. Please go over and support Paul as he does that stream this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it should be a really exciting unraveling of the tournament.
Yeah, keep watching the event there. It's actually great coverage, great meta there. So I want to see what shakes up because the Space Marines are hitting. So see what it's like now. It's about to change.
It is about to change, mate. Have they told us what this codex is after Marines?
Yes, but I can't remember what it is.
Me either. I can't remember what it is as well.
It's like a month or two, or at least out. So we'll see.
Either way, we'll see you on the other side of the meta. Take care. Chase it with us. We'll see you around.
We'll see you around.